Excellent. My dear friends, guests, participants, collaboration partners, and everybody who is joining from any part of the world, welcome to Digital Julfa Inaugural event on June 23rd, 2025. It is with special appreciation and pride, I'm going to highlight the word pride, welcome you to this event. This is not just project, program, initiative. I'm going to call this a movement. It is the movement to revive our global Armenian legacy. It positions us to flourish today. It's very relevant to today's situation in the world. Armenia has something to showcase. Armenia has developed something that was important for the world, and we want to bring that back and showcase and establish new partnerships, establish new power based on trust, agility, and innovation. Digital Julfa is a spirit of Julfan merchant network. It was a network started to flourish 17th century with visionaries, people who took the simple trade into a movement, similar to what we are trying to do today. We started this project 3 years ago. And Souren will actually bring that insight, how it came as an idea, what to do with it, not just know about it, not just to say we were great, but how to use that greatness today and to make it possible for Armenia, a nation that can change, that can revive, and can actually create new collaboration platforms. Digital Julfa is founded in Armenia and is created for Armenians worldwide. But then it opens the doors like the merchants 300 years ago did to the world. So this is a global initiative. Why we are doing this? I have a simple answer. Because we can. We are ready. We need to acknowledge that we have that power to create this kind of a project that establishes new collaboration platforms. And I'm going to say this many, many times, based on trust, based on agility, flexibility, and innovation. We have all these 4 tools to make it happen. Our collaboration partners helped us through this past 3 years to get to this stage and to flourish this idea. And with all the pride and with all the confidence, I'd like to gratefully acknowledge Orion Worldwide Innovation, which a lot of people on this participant list are representing. Orion Worldwide Innovation is the founding partner and architect of the Digital Julfa platform, its strategy and vision. But we did it with all the other partners. YoDoor, formerly YoCerebrum, and Fastex. It's a meta platform company developing transformative digital ecosystems. And we will hear from Nico Nikoyan further about this. He's one of the speakers. So Nico, welcome. Evolver, a venture studio supporting global growth and ecosystem. And with a 3D recording platform, we are ready to do that any part of the world. So thank you, Evolver, for your partnership. Tony Wedding, it's a cultural design partner, co-owner of our visual identity, the badge pin, which is this, proudly wearing this, and it's a symbol of Digital Julfa membership. And we have it ready to purchase and to have yours from any part of the world. And yes, we mastered to ship this globally from Yerevan. So Tony Wedding, thank you so much for establishing that process and having it available any part of the world. Armenian Society Fellows, known as ESOF, with special thanks to Dr. Vache Sahakian for his invaluable support in connecting us with historians who enriched the foundation of our initiative. We checked every single word on our website about the history. So it's checked, verified, and it's available to the world to know more about the new Julfan history. Synergy International, it's a strategy transformation partner. So thank you so much for the partnership with us since its inception of the program. Palmyra, it's a business and innovation development contributor. So thank you for your partnership. Souren Israelyan, Law Office of Souren Israelyan, legal partner and governance supporter. And Souren is going to talk more about how this whole thing came together. Souren, thank you so much. Welcome. FinTech Armenia, digital economy, financial innovation. The founder of this network, Stefan Lucas, will represent not only the FinTech Armenia, but also New Julfan family roots and history of his own family. We are amazed that we were able to get the family example that exists to date. So thank you so much, Stefan, for joining, and we'll share your story of your family. Brain Shaker Design Studio, branding and experience design. Thank you for your partnership. Greenlight Marketing, communication strategy partner. Cardew Roy Event Agency, cultural events and visual storytelling. Marketers Community, expertise in strategic messaging. And First Business School in Armenia, empowering business education and young leadership. Thank you all for your partnership. And I'm going to close with Sage Consulting, a PR agency based in Armenia and the US, who made it possible our program access to Reuters, Yahoo Finance, and dozen other global media leaders. And I have special news to share with you. Only in April of this year, we went global. 350 million people, viewers of Reuters and Yahoo Finance and all these 10 other media channels. They learned about Digital Julfa. And the purpose of our network, I'm going to highlight only some: connect entrepreneurs and professionals around the world, enable Armenian and partner companies with globally available products, and we're going to showcase you to new markets, promote art, education, heritage through a modern lens with all these new technologies. And you could see we are all surrounded by all this digital way of connecting to the world, the NFTs, FTs, and all the digital platform, and our website inclusive. And you can join our network two ways. You can join as a community member, or you can join as a business partner. And you can do that on our website. You can see all the terms, all the details, how to do it. And more importantly, we have a shop page where the businesses targeting right now Armenian businesses that do global business. And then now we're going to do exactly like New Julfans did. We engage the rest of the world to be on our platform with us. We have the symbol, which is the one that I mentioned, the silver pin that was designed by one of the oldest on a wood design that we created this pin as a membership symbol. It's been trademarked now, and it has been designed and co-owned by Tony Wedding and Orion Worldwide Innovations. So we want to make this story as serious and fundamental, with symbol, with story, with history. And that's why we have speakers following my opening remarks to showcase the depth and the validity and the power of this network that we are building. Welcome to Digital Julfa. I'm going to move on to my next opening remarks by Faryal. Faryal, please welcome us. You were going to go first, we would be in Dubai, but I had to start with Yerevan's location. So Faryal, as if we are there in Dubai, please do your welcome speech. Welcome us to Dubai.
Thank you so much, Emma. It's an absolute pleasure to have you online and in this digital space. What you have done with Digital Julfa is, of course, absolutely phenomenal, and I'm sure it's going to go very far. So with that, a very good afternoon to all of you, distinguished guests, esteemed partners, and visionary leaders. It is with great honor and profound respect that I welcome you all to this landmark occasion, the official launch of the Digital Julfa Network. Today, we gather at a unique and compelling crossroads where history converges with modernity, where heritage meets innovation, and where community blossoms into opportunity. The legacy of Julfa is one of enduring significance, a historic nexus of culture and commerce on the ancient Silk Road, a route that connected continents, exchanged ideas, and fostered prosperity for generations. The Digital Julfa initiative captures this spirit of connectivity and reinvention, creating a digital ecosystem where tradition informs progress and collective potential is realized. It is especially fitting that this initiative takes root in the United Arab Emirates, a nation that stands as a global exemplar of visionary leadership, strategic foresight, and unwavering commitment to sustainable development. The UAE's transformation from desert landscapes to a thriving cosmopolitan hub is testament to bold decision-making and refined governance hallmarks that resonate deeply with the mission of Digital Julfa. Under the aspiring leadership of the leaders of the UAE, the nation has made remarkable strides in diplomacy, education, environmental stewardship, and economic diversification. The ruler of Dubai and Prime Minister of the UAE has shaped Dubai's emergence as a beacon of innovation, speed, and excellence on the world stage. Together, their leadership embodies a unique blend of tradition and progress, anchored in cultural values, yet boldly oriented towards the future. This vision permeates the fabric of UAE society, influencing every sector from infrastructure and technology to arts, culture, and hospitality. It is here in this dynamic environment that Digital Julfa finds a fertile ground to flourish. The UAE's commitment to building a knowledge-driven economy aligns perfectly with the goals of this initiative to empower individuals and communities through technology, foster cross-cultural dialogue, and stimulate entrepreneurship. Digital Julfa exemplifies the UAE ethos of tolerance and inclusion, providing a platform where the diaspora and local innovators can collaborate, inspire, and grow. As a female founder, I have personally experienced the tangible support the UAE offers to women, entrepreneurs, and visionaries. This is not merely symbolic. It is a foundational pillar that enables leaders like Emma to dedicate themselves fully to projects of profound impact. Emma's passion, dedication, and leadership have been pivotal in transforming Digital Julfa from an ambitious concept into a vibrant, inclusive network. This initiative is not just about digital connection. It is about building bridges between generations, sectors, and geographies. It invites artists, entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and innovators to share their talents, build meaningful partnerships, and contribute to a shared legacy of resilience and excellence. Digital Julfa is an emblem of the UAE strategic vision, a vision that does not blindly follow global trends, but listens, adapts, and responds with culturally attuned and sustainable solutions. Whether in the realm of green technology, space exploration, or cultural preservation, the UAE always leads by example, creating a future that is both ambitious and deeply rooted in identity. I invite each one of you to engage actively with this platform to bring your unique perspectives and aspirations into this collective endeavor. Together, we can build a thriving community that honors the past, celebrates the present, and charts a course towards an extraordinary future. Thank you for your presence and your commitment to this transformative journey. To learn more and become part of this inspiring network, please visit www.digitaljulfa.com. Let us embrace this opportunity to create a legacy of innovation, inclusion, and enduring success.
Thank you, Varial.
Thank you, Emma.
Thank you. A remote applause and powerful words about recognizing something that is happening that is good for everybody. So thank you so much. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
And okay, we move on. Varial, thanks again. Souren Israelyan. The opening keynote continues with him, who is my very good friend, colleague, Digital Julfa collaboration partner. And Souren, you were the reason we even started to talk about New Julfa. So Souren, why don't you share with us your story and where we got with this, just a conversation, just an idea into a major movement.
Good morning from New York. It's a great honor to be joining you today. So thank you, Emma. Thank you, Faria, for your speeches and welcoming remarks. So let me just tell you, how did I come about, how did I learn about Julfans in the first place? That was 9 years ago, in January of 2016, I was in El Nido Island in the Philippines, and we were waiting in a small private airport for a plane to come and pick us up. There was like 2 shacks, and I was having a tea, and there was one shelf of books, so I pulled a book to just entertain myself while waiting, and that book happened to be about Singapore. And on page 5 of that book, there was a picture. It was an old book, black and white, pretty much used. And on the page 5 of that book, there was a photograph, an old photograph, early 1900s photograph of a hotel, says the Raffles Hotel, and on the bottom of that photograph says built by Tigran and Aviet Sarkis, 1887. And I'm like, who are these people who in 1887 built a large hotel in Singapore? And I have heard about Raffles Hotel generally, but had no idea who these people were. So, and then a couple of pages later, I see an Armenian church, a photo of an Armenian church in Singapore. So that tells me vaguely that there was an Armenian community in Singapore. I couldn't wait till there was no Wi-Fi there, so I couldn't wait till I got to Manila to figure out who these people were. And got to Manila, to Shangri-La Hotel, and you know, I nonstop. I couldn't sleep that night. I was looking into who these people were. Find out that they also built hotel in Penang, Malaysia, in a couple of places in Burma, nowadays Myanmar, and find out about the four brothers, Sarkis brothers, and they were all born in Isfahan. And every community I was searching in, came across in the internet about in Southeast Asia, they were all roads leading to Isfahan. All roads, all all connections was to Isfahan. Then that research, I was like the end of the string, and I was just unwinding, and I was finding now Armenian communities in Bengal, Armenian communities in Calcutta, Armenian communities in Chennai, India, and they were all connected to Isfahan. So that took me to what's about Isfahan. And that's how I uncovered about that in 1604, Shah Abbas brought Julfan population from where at the present day is Nakhichevan, is to Isfahan, was at the time of the capital of the Persian Empire. And in the capital of the Persian Empire, Shah Abbas gave a prominent place, prominent quarter, an Armenian quarter, to Armenians, and gave them the freedoms to practice their religion, their language, and their culture, as well as give them the privileges to trade and to move freely through and in and through the Persian Empire. And that's how I come about finding out about the Julfan trade network. The problem that you're gonna encounter as you try to figure out more about it is there's not enough research about what they have, their models, so to speak, their trade secrets. In the history of humanity, they're the largest and most successful trade network. The amount of wealth that they accumulated, the amount of trade that they have worked with is unparalleled, and as a network. However, I don't want to use the word secretive, but as anybody with that type of a success, they had their trade secrets, their models in how it works. Their communication, their methods of sharing information was unique in terms of that when somebody get hold of it, they couldn't decipher as to what they were transmitting among the network. But there were few things that we can generally decipher about their methods. And I think this will probably take a lot of more research into this area. But one of them at its core was a family. It was whether small or large, it was a family networks. So family at its core. And as we know, fast forward today's date, we do know that any sizable family that can transfer the wealth over 3 generations. The study shows that at the present time, third generation average wealth is $700 million of the third generation. They have kept and transferred the wealth for over 12 generations. The trade network existed from early 1600 to the mid 1800s, 250 years at least. And so I do not know what else to share about you. I mean, there's a lot more that we can learn from them, but the trade secrets are perhaps the most important aspect of it as to how they were not only were able to build it, but also were able to pass successfully from one generation to the next. The succession planning was a critical aspect of the success of the network itself. And perhaps one more thing I want to share with you a short time we have. They were in the forefront of technology. When we say technology today, we have a different connotation, but the major technologies of the time in the 1600s that was the beginning of the sail age. So the technologies that were on Julfans were very much involved was the ships, travel between the oceans, between Mediterranean, between Indian Ocean, Pacific. You can find them all the way to the Mexico from the Pacific Ocean. You can find them all the way to what's United States, to the colonies in the 1600s. The famous Captain Kidd pirate that was arrested and put to trial and executed along with his people. The ship that he and his crew attacked was an Armenian ship in 1700s. You're gonna come across all of these things, and there was East India Company, British East India Company, that changed the world in 1700s. You will see that the Armenian Armenian merchants sued the governor of the East India Company in a British courts, and that went all the way to the King's Bench in late 1700s, and they won the case against the East India, British East India Company's governor in Bengal, which caused that governor to die in being bankrupt. But one of the other aspects of the technology of at that time that was coming out was the printing press. The first printing press of in Asia, at least in the Near Asia or on the European side of the Asia, was the printing press in Isfahan. And that printing press in Isfahan was an Armenian printing press. So I see parallels today that about the technology and innovation that is of the Digital Julfa. So it was a great pleasure to be here this morning, and thank you for Emma, for inviting me, and I'm very much excited about this project and its success, and I can contribute in any way I can. Thank you all.
Thank you, Souren. Thank you so much. The power of family is what is in the foundation of this network that was able to survive for 300 years and plus. So for that reason, we have a special speaker, Stefan Lucas, who is joining, who is coming with his foundation as an innovation person, entrepreneur, FinTech Armenia, as you can see in his title. And the power of his speech is his family. Stefan, I was fascinated the first time we met, and then when we talked about this project, and he said, "Oh, my family's from Julfa." And I said,
Yeah,
we need to know more about it. And I keep saying that we have so many Julfan families still in existence, still doing business. And what we wanted to do is to showcase one of them on our inaugural event. Stefan, take over.
that's wonderful. Thanks, Emma. Hi, everyone. Just to check, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on which time zone you're all in. Hope everyone is well. Thank you, Emma and team, for putting this great, interesting event together. I'm looking forward to the conversations, the insights, and to learning I think there's a really interesting set of speakers, lawyers, historians, etc. So great event. Thanks, Emma. Per Emma's points, my role is to serve as some sort of case study. Unfortunately, I don't have the full historic facts of the last 300-400 years, but I do have some insights and stories to share, hopefully. And yeah, so without dwelling on historical facts, I'll just share about what I know and what we've seen. So yeah, starting off with, it's a journey into the rich and resilient history of the ancient Christian Armenian community that we're sort of uncovering here with this great platform and rebuilding. Started, in the beautiful city of Isfahan in New Julfa. If you haven't been, right now is a difficult time to go to Iran because of what happened in the last 7 days, but I would encourage you all at some point when things settle to visit. It's really beautiful in central Iran. It was once one of the largest and most important cities in Central Asia. And actually, my ancestors from both sides come from Julfa Isfahan and also from Goris unique area, right? So the south of Armenia, beautiful place, which you probably all know and have been to. And there's a link and a connection to Julfa, which I will uncover today. So the story of Armenians in Isfahan is not just a local tale, right? It's a powerful chapter in the broader narrative of cultural exchange, survival, which as Armenians, unfortunately, we've had to build and rebuild as generations, is to survive and grow, and artistic brilliance. So it begins in the early 17th century. I think Mr. Israelyan mentions 1604. During the reign of Shah Abbas I of the Safavid dynasty. So faced with the constant threat of Ottoman invasions in northwest of Iran, Shah Abbas implemented a strategy known as scorched earth. If you don't know about it, feel free to Google. It's quite interesting. Scorched earth, where they displaced populations, thereby weakening some of the enemy lines, i.e. Turkish and Azeri enemy lines, including crops and infrastructure. And as part of this plan in 1604, over 150,000 Christian, I believe, maybe a historian will correct me and say it's 300,000, our Christian Armenians were forcibly moved from the town of Julfa in the Nakhichevan region, Western ancient Armenia is what I call it, to relocate in the heart of Iran, right? So Julfa, Isfahan. And from what I've heard and from what I've read in books is that the Shah Abbas did not treat us merely as subjects of war. Instead, he treated us quite well. He recognized our skills as talented and somewhat experienced merchants, artisans, and traders. He offered our ancestors, from what I heard, a new home in the city of Isfahan, a Christian district he named New Julfa, providing us with living and business enablement capabilities in the hope that we would settle comfortably in New Julfa, Isfahan. And in turn, of course, he did this for a reason, to benefit Iran's key silk trade and connectivity routes that he was actively, strategically rebuilding, Shah Abbas at the time. And so due to our expertise in manufacturing, business, trade, and somewhat technology back then, and importantly, thanks to our commercial mindset, our hard-working spirits and talented capabilities, the Armenian populations that were moved to Isfahan, Julfa, were able to really build some quite impressive businesses over time. And really my understanding is that the ancient Christian Armenian populations that moved there effectively enabled Shah Abbas of Iran back in the day to reroute the Silk Trade Road through Isfahan, through central Iran, thereby making Iran more important as a trade hub. So really, interestingly, what followed was an extraordinary blossoming of Armenian culture and economic power following this movement to Julfa Isfahan in the 17th, 18th century. The Armenians of New Julfa became central to the Safavid Empire's international trade, connecting Persia to Europe, India, China, Russia, And we built churches, we built schools. I know my grandfather, great-grandfather also were part of that, and schools and all sorts of orphanages, hotels, libraries, commodity trade routes, establishing diplomatic ties that rivaled those of any major power. So we were good at that. Some of these things we're doing now as well. So some of us can recognize some of these strengths. We were good at this back in the day as well, which were very important, of course, for survival, for growth, for business, and to protect and build families, right? So Isfahan, as Mr. Israelyan mentioned earlier, was also home to the East India companies, one of their biggest trade warehouses. And from what I heard from the family and what I heard from reading books and documentaries, the main products traded were silk, textiles, dried fruit, tobacco, leather, camel, sheep, wool, art, Chinese items and dishes, firearms for defense, metals and iron, that's also copper, gold, and silver, artifacts, rugs, window glass, precious stones, and more. So there were all sorts of products being traded by the Armenians and other nationalities through Isfahan. And, you know, it's really interesting because the Shah further expanded trade relations regionally and internationally through this trade route and hub that we helped him build. He did great things, actually. He developed local souks, he redeveloped them, he rebuilt the markets for the local people to trade, he rebuilt shops, he built roads, he built bridges, and importantly, and as you saw in the news, but about the Straits of Hormuz, but the ports of Hormuz and Juran, where at the time 300 plus ships were docked. They were trading agricultural commodities, metal commodities, and energy commodities worldwide through the ports of Hormuz and Juran. Just before I wrap up, so my family actually were lucky that they managed to enter the commodity trade industry a long time ago. And they actually ended up expanding their business, quote unquote, empire into exotic places. So we're actually from Indonesia, from Singapore. The gentleman mentioned Raffles Hotel. From my grandmother's side, we're also the Sarkis family. So there's a family link there to the builders of the Raffles Hotel. And later as well in India and Asia, where we entered energy trade and coal mining type businesses. And to this day, actually, we continue in the commodity trade industry as a family, but more in UK and Europe on agriculture and food products. So it's interesting that it sort of stayed in the genes and in the blood, and we're just natural traders. I trade capital markets. I trade different types of. The world has changed, right? But so on that point, so from my side, as Emma mentioned, I ventured and expanded sort of the reach into the next direction and next evolution of what we've been through as a family and where the world is going. So the last 2 decades, I've been focusing my time and career on sort of the next shift, right? So as you mentioned, Emma, so the global interconnected trade and business enabled by from what we're building, FinTech Armenia, FinTech industry, using tools like blockchain and AI, and that's across the whole financial services industry. But really, where that is going is it will transform trade. Trade is slowly becoming more digitized. My last corporate role at CME Group, the world's biggest trading venue and America's commodity market place, right? The AMX, so to speak, of America, but more on commodities and financials. During my time there, the last five to 7 years, they digitized 100% of commodity trade. So that's really interesting because historically, commodities in this type of business was traded through trading pits. But really, the 3 reasons I'm doing this is 1, to prepare and help enable Armenia's rising tech industry, 2, to strengthen Armenia's position as a rising commodity and business trade hub, and importantly, to enable market participants worldwide to trade globally, electronically, better, faster, and to reposition some of that, more of that through Armenia and Armenian hands and businesses like we used to. And so hence the synergy, with a lot of synergy with FinTech Armenia Association members and partners, but hence the synergy with Digital Julfa on many sides and angles. So just wrapping up, despite some difficult times, it's really incredible, actually, if you think about it, that for over 400 years, Armenians in New Julfa, Isfahan, have managed to preserve their language, their faith, their customs, their faith, and even as they contributed immeasurably to the thriving local culture and business climate, we played key roles in developing art, printing, music, commerce, trade, and over time, banking as well. But despite, if you think about it, these political shifts, revolutions, wars, global upheavals, New Julfa remains a living testament, in my humble opinion, of the coexistence and cultural endurance, where you have a thriving Muslim and Christian community that's able to live together, work together, and achieve great things over time, and to continue doing that. So I think that's a bit of a role model. If you look at, unfortunately, the geopolitical ambitions that governments are going through right now, commodity trade leadership goals, they're trying to push their own agendas, and P&Ls as countries, and religious differences. So I just think it's a bit of a case study, and just wanted to say that actually, if you're in Julfa, or if you have Google in front of you later, have a look at the Vank Cathedral, V-A-N-K Cathedral, completed in the mid-17th century. It's actually a beautiful blend of Islamic and Christian architecture. And it's incredible to think that, wow, I had family who was going there in the 1700s. And it's really beautiful. And actually, during my trip there, I visited many beautiful Christian Armenian churches. Currently, there are 17 left in Julfa, Isfahan. There were 24 churches. So that's also quite incredible to think that, our culture and legacy has remained. And so that's a wrap really for me today. Just wanted to share these few points. Hope it was interesting, and feel free to connect.
Thank you, Stefan.
Thank you.
And congratulations to your family continuing that trade and being in the same industry that they were for 350 years ago. And we're going to try to find more of these families. That's one of the purposes of this initiative, to bring back not just the history, but to identify that history present families that are operating still. We found some, but we wanted to have this family to represent you, and technology plus your family history. It just all comes together. Thank you so much. More to come. You're one of our collaborating partners, so more work to be done. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cheers to that. Okay, we proceed with our agenda. And the next one, we're going to go into two speakers who will talk about their professional historian perspectives of what we are trying to do, and how relevant it is to not only to just know history, but to leverage that history, to build something new. And one more time, I'm going to say, and I love this sentence, because we can. Nobody's holding us back. We can. So with that pride and with that confidence, building the future with confidence is halfway there. Now, I welcome Dr. Ani Margaryan. You will be amazed. You probably saw her bio, because we did some good marketing there. She is on our website and in our marketing social media platforms. So Dr. Ani Margaryan, how did we find her? Through ASO, which is the Armenian Society of Fellows, more than close to 400 scholars, historians, physics, and all kinds of like very top profile professors and scholars are part of that group. By the way, they are meeting again in Armenia, this time in Armenia, one more time in Armenia. They started from St. Lazarus in Italy, where the foundation of our scholars and the school is there, Margaryan's. I found her through the Armenian Society of Fellows, a distinguished art historian, and guess what? Silk Road scholar. How relevant that could be. As our keynote speaker, she's based in China. She's art historian, Suzhou University, diaspora youth ambassador in China, member of the Armenian Society of Fellows, and she's a leading expert in Sino-Armenian cross-cultural heritage and diaspora networks. She's just born and grew into this role for us. I'm just gonna say, not only welcome, we're just gonna hug you with this through this distance.
I'm hugging back. Thank you very much, dear Emma.
Yes, and the topic we wanted you to cover is how Armenian Silk Road merchants shaped modern world of today's trade. Phenomenal. So we're not just saying it, we're just not referring to it. We know it. And here is Dr. Ani Margaryan. Please spread the light, more light from your foundation as a historian. How did we do that and what we can do today? Thank you.
Thank you, dear Emma. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. I'm Ani, and I'm very pleased and honored to be a part of this very important event. Let me save your time and share my screen immediately.
Oh, let me allow you to do that.
Okay.
Nanosecond. Done. Go ahead.
So, before moving to the body of the presentation, I'd like to highlight why the theme is relevant and essential both globally and for us Armenians. Despite lacking political independence, Armenian merchants leverage trade to gain economic influence, diplomatic knowledge, and cultural capital, advancing Armenian interests abroad. Their networks facilitated communication between distant Armenian communities, preserving identity while engaging with global markets. Wealthy merchants funded schools, printing houses, and churches, promoting literacy and intellectual growth in diaspora communities, sponsoring the establishment of the Armenian printing presses in Venice, Amsterdam, and New Julfa. They demonstrated how commercial success could drive cultural and educational progress through sustained patronage of learning institutions. The mercantile class played a crucial role in shaping Armenian diasporic identity, connecting communities across Persia, India, Europe, and beyond. Their history reflects the broader Armenian experience of adaptation, resilience, and negotiation of dual identity, local and global. Armenian merchants bridged Asia, Europe, and later the Americas, which is why we say they bridged East and West. And they facilitated exchange of goods, silk, gems, porcelain, ideas, and technologies. Their cosmopolitan approach, respectful engagement with diverse cultures, offers a model for modern cross-cultural trade. They held a privileged role in Silk Road trade, particularly in China, where they acted as intermediaries. Their thoughtful use of economic position as soft power balanced commercial interests with cultural preservation. The lifestyle, artistic expressions, and architectural designs in mercantile communities integrate Eastern and Western influences while preserving a distinct Armenian identity. This demonstrates their capacity for adaptation without assimilation, resulting in a distinctive aesthetic that brings new motifs and art forms into Armenian culture. They quickly adopted new technologies, printing, banking, and market trends. For example, the fashionable trend of the time, pearl, diamond, tea, porcelain trade. As skilled negotiators, they navigated political shifts between Safavid, Mughal, and European powers to sustain networks. Merchants were active patrons and commissioners of hybrid artworks. They pushed boundaries of art patronage by fostering objects that blended Islamic, Asian, European, and Armenian aesthetics. Commissioned artworks by merchants consistently featured Armenian inscriptions, which is very important for us. This practice preserved language while asserting cultural presence in foreign lands. Their model of trust-based networks remains relevant. That demonstrated how economic cohesion and cultural patronage could compensate for the lack of statehood. The Armenian mercantile class served far more than traders. They were vital agents of cross-cultural exchange, transmitting ideas, innovations, and diplomatic ties across Eurasia. Historian Philip Curtin emphasized their unique role in cross-cultural trade in world history publication, documenting their 2nd century BC control of Silk Road routes from China to the Mediterranean and their later adaptability as Christian intermediaries in Muslim lands. Let's do a very quick historical review. The Julfan merchants developed one of the most far-reaching trade networks of the early modern era, connecting Persia with markets across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. In Europe, they established key commercial hubs in Venice, Livorno, Amsterdam, and Marseille, where they traded Persian silk and other luxury goods. Their networks extended into Russia, Moscow, Astrakhan, where they played a crucial role in the silk and textile trade. In South Asia, they maintained strong commercial ties with Mughal India, operating in major trading centers such as Surat, Agra, and Bengal. Some Julfa merchants even reached Southeast Asia, conducting business in Manila and Batavia. Within the Ottoman Empire, they were active in Constantinople, Aleppo, and Smyrna, while in the Persian Gulf and Indian Ocean, they traded in strategic ports such as Basra, Hormuz, and Bandar Abbas. Well, given our established understanding of the Armenian mercantile class's economic and cultural influence, their role in advancing connectivity and modernity for expanded trade networks, we must confront a fundamental question. Where are their visual representations? As an art historian, I operate on the foundational principle that powerful social groups invariably appear in visual media, whether as documentary records, artistic impressions, or objects of fascination and curiosity. In art history, we have a term, subject matter. Subject matter in art refers to the content, theme, or narrative a work of art depicts. Let's see whether Armenian merchants became the subject matter in the arts. Oh yes, they did. From my research, I have identified approximately 100 portrayals of Armenian merchants in Western art across diverse media, including engravings, oil paintings, and sculptures spanning various genres such as general representations, book illustrations, and individual portraits. Significantly, many of these works are explicitly labeled in European languages. For example, English, Dutch, French, German, Italian, with inscriptions like Armenian merchant, Armeno mercante, while others specify individuals by name, such as Philippe Armenian or Arotin George. A substantial portion of these depictions are linked to the Dutch East India Company, British East India Company, or highlight Armenian merchants' role in mediating trade between Europe and Asia. Stylistically, these portrayals uniformly present the Armenian mercantile class as dignified and self-assured, adorned in contemporary luxury attire that reflects their economic stature and cosmopolitan identity. This portrait on the left, executed by renowned miniaturist John Smart during his decade in Madras, depicts Edward Raphael, a pivotal figure in the 18th century global commerce. Raphael embodied the Armenian mercantile elite's transnational reach, founding the Carnatic Bank in Madras, while trading cotton, silk, spices, and opium across India, China, and Southeast Asia. His commercial empire relied on Armenian intermediaries, such as Samuel Murat in Canton, Guangzhou, and Joseph Ter Astvatsatur in Calcutta, exemplifying the diaspora's role in bridging European and Asian markets. Raphael, together with his son-in-law, the prominent diamond merchant Samuel Murat, founded the Armenian college Murat Raphael in Venice. Both men, recognized for their Enlightenment ideals and close association with the Mkhitarist scholarly order, established the institution to provide exceptional education for young Armenians in Europe. Interestingly, the sartorial distinctive feature of Armenian merchants made them instantly recognizable across Europe, with many adopting elements or even the complete ensemble of traditional Armenian mercantile attire. This cultural visibility extended beyond trade circles. Jean-Jacques Rousseau famously commissioned portraits wearing his favorite Armenian forehead and trimmed jacket during his 1766 stay in London. Non-Western artistic traditions, including Persian, Ottoman, and Armenian diasporic representations, frequently portrayed merchants with symbolic attributes of economic power, enlightenment, and elite status. Armenians were also depicted in Tang Dynasty Sansai figurines. If this hypothesis is correct, it could represent one of the earliest artistic portrayals of Armenian merchants in global art history. The Sansai glazed figurines of wine merchants from the Tang Dynasty provide compelling evidence for Silk Road cultural exchanges, with scholarly sources supporting their identification as Armenian traders. In my upcoming article, I propose that these artifacts represent the general images of Armenian merchants. This hypothesis is strengthened by Armenia's well-documented history of Vedic culture, evidenced by the archaeological finds such as Areni I Cave Complex, the world's oldest known winery. The figurines' distinctive physiognomy, heavy beards, large eyes, and prominent noses aligns with late 19th century anthropological descriptions of Armenoid types. Despite their historical significance, much of the story of the Armenian mercantile class remains obscured by lost archives, dispersed communities, and inaccessible primary sources. Migration patterns, the decline of diasporic hubs, and fragmented records have left gaps in our understanding of their character, ambitions, and aesthetic sensibilities. Yet, their legacy persists through a revelatory lens, patronage, and ownership. So patronage and ownership, two interconnected terms in art history. Patronage denotes the sustained financial, material, or institutional support extended by individuals, groups, or governing bodies to artists, artisans, or cultural producers. Ownership in art refers to the legal possession and control of an artwork. Armenian merchant families actually commissioned artworks, particularly Chinese armorial porcelain, adorned with Armenian inscriptions and royal insignia tied to historic kingship traditions, as evidenced by the Kalfayan collection. These luxury objects served dual purposes. While functioning as trade commodities, they simultaneously embodied political aspirations for nationhood through their incorporation of Armenian royal motifs and patriotic symbolism. The practice paralleled contemporary Chinese export porcelain customized for foreign markets, yet with a distinctive nationalist dimension. Merchants strategically employed material culture to assert Armenian sovereignty and cultural continuity. The comparative analysis visually and contextually illustrates the striking proximity between Chinese export porcelain for the American and Armenian markets, substantiating our hypothesis that Armenian patrons were directly inspired by porcelain forms and compositions intended for the American market, because both nations and countries at the time were in their pursuit of independence and building nationhood. So this slide represents the most notable commissions by Armenian merchants worldwide. So this is their very luxurious mansion in New Julfa, which is the fusion in terms of architecture and exterior and interior design of Western and Eastern influences and features. This is a rug which was commissioned by an Armenian merchant for the Polish royalty. This is a throne commissioned by a group of Armenian merchants for the Russian monarch, a Tsar, in order to get access to the Russian trade. They commissioned numerous manuscripts. This is a very interesting helmet with the Armenian inscription on it, commissioned by a merchant. They also commissioned their own portraits in variety of media. They commissioned administrative buildings. They even commissioned a coin in Amsterdam on the occasion of one of the merchant's daughter's wedding ceremony. We also have a series of intricately decorated brass and copper bowls, which demonstrate visually the influence from Islamic culture, but they all bear Armenian dedicatory inscriptions. They had their own belongings made of very precious, expensive materials of the time, like silver seals and purses made of hand-embroidered textiles. Dorsal curtains for the Armenian churches and monasteries worldwide. Printed production, printed maps, printed books. And finally, an astrolabe, which was very fashionable and was regarded as a new innovative technology of the time. It was a device which helped Armenian merchants to navigate during their maritime trade. So in 2024, here in China, we have undertaken an ambitious academic project to reconstruct the authentic image of the Armenian merchant through costume revival. This interdisciplinary initiative unfolded in two critical phases. First, a scholarly investigation, and second, a creative collaboration with art historians, designers, and ethnographers. Our reconstruction draws on rare primary sources, including mid-20th century costume sketches, European engravings and prints, and an exceptionally well-preserved 17th century merchant ensemble housed in the United States. This project not only advances Silk Road studies, but also sheds light on the nuanced history of Asian Armenian, Persian Armenian, and European Armenian commercial and cultural ties. And the costume was showcased in during the very important event in China, in Qingdao, and was welcomed by Chinese authorities and audiences. In conclusion, I want to highlight how artificial intelligence captures the image of Julfan Armenian merchants, embodying their cosmopolitan spirit and pursuit of modernity. Their attire skillfully blends Western and Eastern motifs, featuring intricate patterns and vibrant colors. The surroundings further emphasize their global connections. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I'm finished.
Thank you, Ani.
Thank
These are
you.
the insights, and these are the artifacts that we absolutely are looking for. Thank you so much for your insightful.
The pleasure is mine.
And yeah, insightful. It's just amazing that we have so much to demonstrate, and we have so much to offer in the nowadays, the design, the fashion, the technology. So we actually have on our website, there is a special section, it's called Shop, and you go and meet with all these new companies that are, without knowing, we are actually continuing the same style. Everything is in high quality, very creative, and it's a global use. Thank you so much, Ani. More to come. We're gonna showcase this presentation. We're gonna have more of these speeches coming for other events. We're gonna have this type of events every year, maybe multiple ones. So thank you, Ani. And welcome to Digital Julfa with all of your insightful research you've done. Thank you. Okay, well, the journey continues. Now we have our next speaker, Dr. Rachele Zanone, we are honored to welcome her because she's a distinguished art historian and cultural heritage scholar. Her research is from medieval Armenian manuscripts to ornamental expressions in non-European art traditions. Surprise and no surprise. Dr. Rachele Zanone, she is a PhD in history, territory, and cultural heritage from University of Rome. Her research at Matenadaran in Armenia took place, and also she's based in Florence, Italy, so major connections with all this research work. She has been awarded, get ready for this, by the Ministry of Culture of Armenia for her work on Armenian illuminated gospels. We found her. She's here. Welcome, Dr. Zanone, and currently you're doing a research at the International University of Siena in Italy, University of Siena. Welcome to our session. Welcome to Digital Julfa program and initiative. The stage is yours.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Good afternoon, good morning to everyone from Italy. I would like to thank you, to thank Emma and all the organizer for inviting me to attend this very interesting and precious event, full of the new topic that I am sure will be a source of inspiration for the future project and also for the future research. So I will try to be brief without overlapping with the topic that were expressed early by my art historian colleague Hani Margaryan. I would like to share me too a PowerPoint. Emma, if you give me the permission to share.
You have it.
Okay, I will try. Okay, just a minute. Okay, you see?
Yes, we see
Okay.
your screen.
Perfect. The title of my presentation is The Impact of the New Julfa Network in Italy and on European country. And the point that will be highlighted are three. New Julfa sociocultural influence on Europe, the relationship between New Julfa and Italy, the case of Venice as a place of encounter and exchange of cultures, and the third point is research at the Matenadaran on the portrait of Armenian merchants in medieval gospel, 10th, 13th century, colophony, iconography, and patronage. The main goal is to highlight the valuable cultural contribution of the Armenian community of New Julfa on Europe throughout the century. The Armenian of New Julfa played a significant cultural role in shaping Europe's understanding of the East during the early modern period. As skilled merchants and intellectuals, they acted as cultural intermediaries, transmitting knowledge, art, and idea between Persia and Europe. One of their key contributions was the introduction of Persian and, of course, Armenian artistic and aesthetic tradition to European audience. Throughout trade and diplomacy, they brought Persian textile, miniature painting, and decorative art into European circulation, influencing taste in fashion, interior design, and visual culture. The New Julfa Armenian were also instrumental in developing early modern printing and translation efforts. Armenian printing presses established in European cities such as Amsterdam and Venice published religious and scholarly texts that promoted intercultural dialogue and preserved Armenian heritage abroad. These works often included multilingual content, which helped bridge cultural gaps and engaged European scholarly interest in Eastern language, religions, and histories. Moreover, the mobility and network of New Julfa Armenians contributed to the spread of architectural style and religious art. Their churches in Europe often reflected a fusion of Armenian, Persian, and European design, symbolizing the blending of civilization. In essence, the Armenians of New Julfa were not just traders, they were transmitters of culture, whose legacy helped deepen Europe's intellectual and artistic engagement with the East. The Armenian community of New Julfa maintained close and dynamic ties with Italy, particularly with the city of Venice, which emerged as a vital center of encounter and cultural exchange between East and West. As part of their expansive trade network, New Julfa merchants regularly traveled to Venice, bringing with them luxury goods such as silks, spices, and Persian artwork. In return, they imported European products and the idea back to Persia. Venice was more than a commercial hub. It became a place of intellectual and cultural interaction. The city's cosmopolitan character allowed Armenian scholars, clergy, and merchants to establish a significant presence. One of the most notable outcomes of this exchange was the founding of the Armenian Mekhitarist congregation on the island of San Lazzaro in the early 18th century. While founded later than New Julfa resettlement, the Mekhitarist order built on the intellectual and diasporic legacy of community like New Julfa, preserving Armenian culture and producing important linguistic, historical, and theological work that reached Europeans' audience. Throughout trade, printing, and scholarship, the relationship between New Julfa and Venice exemplified the role of Armenian as a cultural bridge. Their presence in Venice helped foster mutual understanding and enrich both Armenian and Italian cultural life, leaving a lasting legacy in European-Armenian relations. About the Armenian manuscript production in New Julfa and its impact in Italian art, I want to point out some concepts. In 17th and 18th century, New Julfa became major center for Armenian manuscript production, continuing the rich tradition of illuminated text that combined religious devotion with artistic excellence. Scribes and artists in New Julfa produced finely decorated manuscripts, often blending Armenian iconography with Persian artistic elements such as intricate floral motifs, vibrant color palettes, and delicate gold detailing. These manuscripts were not confined to Persia. Throughout trade and the Armenian diaspora, many reached Europe, particularly in Italy, where they drew the attention of collectors, scholars, and artists. In Venice, where Armenian community were already active, this manuscript contributed to growing European interest in Eastern art and culture. Italian artists and book illustrators, especially in Venice and in Rome, began to take inspiration from the stylistic features of Armenian manuscript. The fusion of Eastern and Western visual elements influenced Italian decorative art, manuscript illumination, and even religious iconography. Additionally, the presence of Armenian script and religious themes is this work sparked scholarly engagement with Armenian history and Christianity in the East. Thus, the manuscript tradition of New Julfa not only preserved Armenian heritage, but also enriched Italian art, serving as a vivid example of cross-cultural influence in the early modern period. The last point is about my research. Among my research interests mainly related to material culture and art, especially in the Vaspurakan Armenian manuscript, is since 2022, the investigation is about the representation of Armenian merchants in medieval manuscript. Research work has started within the ERC project. The title of this project is Armenia Entangled, Connectivity and Cultural Encounters in Medieval Eurasia, 9th-13th century, at the Sagas Department of the University of Florence, for which I worked as postdoctoral fellow. The PI of this project is the professor Zara Bokosian. My study topic for the Armen project consisted of analyzing the portrait of Armenian merchants in the miniature of medieval manuscript and placing them in a broader Eurasian context. Given the particularity of certain miniatures, a focus of the research was devoted to the analysis of the clothing worn by these merchants, investigated through an iconographic study and comparison with Byzantine and Arab illuminated production on the same subject and on the same period. In 2023, I published a preview of the result made during my research. And the focus was on, first, the investigation of the colophons of a group of medieval manuscripts where merchants are mentioned as commissioner. This is of fundamental importance because it highlights for the first time a collection of manuscripts commissioned by a specific category of people in the medieval period and in Greater Armenia before the modern flourishing in New Julfa. Secondly, the investigation of the Armenian titles by which these merchants were referenced to in a painting inscription, in a carvings inscription, and of course in the colophons. Finally, the third and the last point, the investigation of the garments worn by them in Armenian miniature made it possible to identify particular type of clothing also in relation to a broad comparison between Byzantine and Arab manuscript areas of the same period. Actually, the research work on this advancing and open up to the broader relation between Armenia and Eurasia. Thank you for your attention, and thank you, Hannah. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Zanone. We are seeing this power of relationships between the two countries, and also taking the power of Armenian merchants, their presence, the trust that they built among so many countries together, based on their innovative, creative approach, using technologies of that time. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. And we're going to do again the right promotion of all this material, educating people about the power of relationships we had for centuries, that we are reviving that presence and reviving that power of doing business, building partnerships, using today's technologies. That takes me to the next topic. Why we have Nico Nikoyan on this call, and why are we in this very high-tech location with all of this blockchain, tokens, NFT? Why are we doing this? Because we are using these strong fundamental relationships we built for centuries, reviving them back. We're not starting from zero. And we are adding to this very strong, powerful history, the new technologies. Why? Because now we can take this strong history, the foundation, plus these new technologies, and create this new Julfa 21st century version, Digital Julfa. So Nico, thank you so much for being our partner. Fastex has been phenomenal from day one to work with us. coming up with a design of how to take this and how to marry history with technology of today. So YoDoor Metaverse platform is where our product, the digitaljulfa.com, is on, which means we can trade with any currency. We can trade with blockchain. We can trade with NFTs. So we are ready to work with the world in any shape. So Nico, take over and tell us how your marketplace of these new technologies can be the support of the Digital Julfa moving forward. Take over, Nico.
Hello, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. It was really awesome and great to listen to your insights, to your speeches. Thank you again very much. Thank you, Emma, for organizing this wonderful digital event as we are transforming and shaping the digital spaces. It will be like, it would take a lot of time to go for whole our ecosystem that we are building and we have been building, but I will try to keep much shorter and to the point. Well, regarding the Fastex ecosystem, this is the whole Web3 and blockchain ecosystem that we have been building so far, and we have got our own blockchain. We have got the technologies and the products that we have been building so far. Actually, regarding the YoCerebrum, it recently were renamed to YoDoor. It's accessible in YoDoor.com, and both iOS and Android mobiles applications are accessible, but on the YoDoor name. I will go. We have been prepared a presentation regarding the YoDoor. Emma, kindly asking you to let me share my screen.
You should be able to do that.
Let me try. Just a second.
Can you share it?
Yes, that's right. Can you see the share or not?
Not yet. Share again.
Not yet. Okay. Okay. Sorry for that. Yeah, just have to reconnect. Can you see my just a second? Is it accessible now?
Yes, we can see screen, but it's the Zoom screen, your presentation.
Yeah, awesome. Just a second. Actually, yes. This is the YoDoor platform. The presentation, actually, I decided to share the presentation, but I think it will be much better to show the YoDoor platform itself. Afterwards, after that, I will share the presentation. Well, this is the YoDoor platform when individuals and businesses can showcase in digital format and show their products or make their events in a digital space. Actually, it will be great, I think, Emma, if we next time can make our meeting in a YoDoor itself. What do you think about it? In NFT shop or the location that you would prefer? Well, to be shortly, this is the all businesses can request to have their own 3D spaces. I would like to show one of them. For instance, recently the artists were building, they're creating their own art, and this is the place when they show with their products. Just a second, it will be loaded. Can you see the
Yes.
screen? Yeah, this is the one of our spaces where like creators have put their artworks here, and it will be here like kind of forever. And once the event is happening, like everyone is welcomed to come and to see the events, because we know nowadays it take like the geopolitical part is hard to go and to attend to events. So YoDoor is providing such a solutions for the businesses to hold their events. We have here also the ticketing systems to verify if the user has got the ticket or something like that. And I would like to showcase the beta. It's actually on the beta development, but I would like to share it with you. It's called Copia, when hotels or apartments and other like restaurants can showcase their buildings in a YoDoor itself, so the user knows where he goes or what the apartment look like. Actually, we have been developed here the map of Yerevan. The Dubai is coming, the Italy is coming as well, and a lot of places as well. Like for instance, if you click on some of the streets, it's Abovian Street, and you can just click there and go over there. And a lot of advertisement are happening there. Actually, again, another benefits of the YoDoor is helping the artists, I don't know, celebrities, if they are holding their events or they are having a particular event, like to give the opportunity for their followers to come and join the digital event. So shortly, this is about the YoDoor. I will drop the presentation so you can see by yourself. If you will have additional questions in the future, feel free to drop a message to me. I'm open here, and here is actually 24/7 support to help and answer your questions. Again, thank you so much. Thank you, Emma, for organizing this event. It was great.
Wonderful. So let me connect of what Nico just showed. What does it mean to Digital Julfa? This means any small shop on this planet, even one small room with very high quality products or any service can be now shown using this kind of platform. There are not that many platforms in any different countries. This is actually very unique. It's a very, very expensive service, what you just looked at, which means any store, any book, any art piece can be put on this platform and can be sold with any currency, with any token, with a blockchain. So this is the future of trade. This is the future of e-commerce in the next level. What we are trying to showcase with this is that Digital Julfa is continuing the same effort of building innovation for the trade. That's exactly what they did 400 years ago, using ships, using camels, any types of transportation, and being the forefront of being able to not to just transport products, but to do it with trust, to do it with quality, and building long-term relationships. Exactly the same we are doing today. Technology is allowing us to do that even faster. So if you haven't been in Jerusalem, if you haven't seen the Armenian ceramics businesses that are surviving there and building there like for a couple of 100 years, you don't have to go to Jerusalem to see it. You can actually use this journey, and we are working with them, by the way, with Balayan, with Arakelyan, and with Vic, the three major ones that we found there, and they are on the top list of the ceramics in the entire Israel and in the entire region there. So we will bring that to Digital Julfa as just one example. We have so many different technologies in all industries, the health tech, the art, jewelry, music. When you go to shop on Digital Julfa, you will see the sections. We call them corners. Take a look. This is how we are building the next layer of trade, commerce to people. We target Armenian businesses, but as I said before, we open it to everybody. It's a global trade network using these new technologies, and we are proud to say that Armenia has that technology, which Nico just presented, and it's done via Fastex. They are our platform. We partnered 2 years ago. It took us a moment to see how we actually make this available to the world. So Digital Julfa is a digital platform of new trade based on the culture, relationships that we built for 100 years. And trust me on this one, when you go to Italy, when you go to India, when you go to Manila, Amsterdam, and Hong Kong, by the way, Hong Kong is also based on the Armenian New Julfan guy that moved from New Julfa to India and then to Hong Kong. We established not only Singapore, but also Hong Kong Financial Center. Did you know that? So they all remember this. All we have to do is to revive our relationships today using with all these new technologies. I would like to open for 5-10 minutes. We do have time. Questions from the audience, commentary from the audience, and then we will do our closing remarks. So I'm going to open up. Let me go to a view of the gallery. Everybody can see each other. We were actually targeting 20 people, but I'm happy to see that we had more people to join. Okay, wonderful. Questions, comments, please, this includes also speakers. Feel free to comment or jump in with any thought you have. Okay, 10 minutes, Q&A.
I was trying to find I found it. Just a minute. Raise the hand.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. So hello guys, my name is Tigran. So thank you everyone for the beautiful presentations and a lot of information which are really important for every Armenian in the world. So I'm looking forward to learn more and understand what we can do more to connect all the Armenian people. This is really important. Really. This is the only way for Armenians to survive, right? So we are not like 100 million, 200 or billion. We're just a small nation, and the only way to survive is just to be together, right? As a family, as you mentioned. So I'm curious to understand, so what is the next step, right? In terms of Digital Julfa, like what should we do? What we are going to do, like together, or what is our mission? Let's say I want to be part of it, and what is my mission? I want to understand that. So what's next coming?
What's next? I briefly mentioned it at the beginning to prepare people with their thinking process, that this is not just a presentation. This requires action right after or during this conversation. What are the actions? Join the network. And when you go digitaljulfa.com, right there at the top, it says join us. And when you click on it, it says join as a community member, which means you are that person who will buy stuff. So you are doing your shopping, you are connecting with Armenian businesses, you are learning about history. So join as a community member. It requires no payment, no commitment. You're becoming part of the team, and you will see, you are receiving all these emails from news@digitaljulfa.com, which means we're going to be actively promoting products, promoting businesses, connecting Armenians and non-Armenians worldwide who are part of this network. So join as a community member. And then you can see products. And when you join, you can go shop and see all the businesses. Currently, we are going very actively, proactively after Armenian businesses all over the world that offer products or services globally. We want also people to think that when they have a product and it's a high quality, why they are not thinking global. So we are promoting that global mindset because Armenians 300, 400 years ago were doing global. So why would we not do global today with all of these more available platforms, technology, communications, and everything? So any second option is to join as business. If you have a product or a service that you can offer globally, you're set up for a platform that can offer people from all over the world your product, shipment, if it's a physical product, and a software for different languages, or being able to buy with different currencies, please join as a business partner. Business partner has two levels. One is you join only with your website because your 3D is not available yet, exactly what Nico was showing. And second, you can click on the products. We have 5 layers of being able to take your company, your business, 1 location, up to 7 locations. We are taking you to be online with the 3D, exactly what Nico was showing. So we want businesses to prepare for a future commerce using this metaverse. It's coming. Now we are forefront in front of everybody else. And thank God we have that business also based on the platform is based in Armenia. We are absolutely acting like these merchants in 17th, 16th centuries onwards. Innovation, ships, what at that time were the ships. Now we are doing it with the 3D e-commerce, which is known as Metaverse. So we are taking businesses to a new way of doing business with the universe. We are ahead of the game. We know it. That's why we just want to start people to join with their website. So Tigran, I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yes. And then, thank you. Very good question. There was another question that Artak asked about bloggers. What do you do? Because your business is with Instagram and all the other social medias of today. Nico already answered. Yes, you can join as a blogger to the Metaverse platform. See? And invite many others and take your customers to that new place as well.
If you let me, Emma John, regarding the bloggers and influencers, we do have created a lot of opportunities for them as well, except the YoDoor that I was just presenting. There's also Yo Health platform. Actually, the Yo family is developing very fast. There's a Yo Health platform that we are like helping and encouraging the healthier lifestyle. There is Yo blog inside the Yo Health application. Where the Artak asked it, you can create your own blog, and we have just launched the incentivized program. Just feel free to see, because we're regarding in the cryptocurrencies with bloggers and creators who are like inviting their friends. This is a little bit a longer answer for Artak's question. Thanks so much.
Excellent. Okay, Artak, you have something new to share with your audience. Thank you. Other questions or comments?
Can I just say something, dear Emma?
Of course, Dr. Margaryan, go ahead.
I'd like to say thank you again for this exceptional initiative. As a scholar, academic, like many other scholars, we usually live in a sort of bubble. We create, we write, we publish, and we never have the feedback. And sometimes we question ourselves, what I do, is it making any difference for people, for the audiences globally? So while I was conducting the research on Armenian mercantile class, we decided to revive the costume to see the reaction of people, how they react, what they see in it, whether they accept it as an Armenian or not. And now being a part of this initiative, by the way, I'm also the founder of Chinarmart Multilingual Platform, which aims to connect the Armenian community in China and our community. What?
说不说中文？
会说中文。
你在中国啊？太好了，太好了！我也 Well, sorry, I was living in China for 4 years. I had a master degree there, so verifying on me.
Welcome to China again. Yeah, I'm here around 8 years and a half. So I'm trying to use all the possible Chinese, platforms, and I'm like sort of trying to connect those platforms to Armenian ones because really here we have those platforms. Chinese government, Chinese institutions, authorities, universities, they are providing all those platforms. We just need to learn how to use it and how to become a sort of chain to connect them to the rest of the world and most importantly, Armenians. So as the founder of Chinarmart platform, I would also love to join Digital Julfa, not only as a scholar, because I think that only together with united joint efforts, we can finally make a difference in this very complicated and uncertain world. Thank you.
You're welcome. So bring all your network that you built to be part of this, and also offer the businesses who are doing offering products or services to be part of this, and offer their products to be purchased, to be known, like our merchants did for many centuries.
If I may say, the presentations were fascinating by Dr. Margaryan and the academician from Italy. It was very interesting. Historically, in 1700s, in 1700s, Persian Empire was the center of the world. The Isfahan was the capital of the world at the time, so to speak. And that that fight or that competition to be the center of the world is not over. There are a lot of competing centers around the world now, so including the China, and all of them need those forces, collective forces that can help them to achieve whatever they want to achieve. And Armenians are a global diaspora, and it's some of the things comes natural to us. So it's we can provide through a Digital Julfa Network major force for various geopolitical players that wants to continue either to maintain or develop themselves as a new centers of the world. So and the academician's role is indispensable in this, because you connect our past to our present and also help us to envision what the future will look like. And there is, when we talk about a history, we'll talk about a living history, the history that is part of our presence and our future. So that's very important for us, what you do, and we very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Israelyan. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Souren, I'm going to steal that moment that you said, historians, because a lot of people say, okay, it was yesterday. No, it wasn't yesterday. It was a foundation for us to learn from it and take it to the present and the future. We are doing this for our today, but we are preparing our generation to actually take what we had before, we have now, and build the future. So we are enabling our young generation, and I'm so happy to see so many young people on this call. Intentionally, we were inviting them so to see that they have a role as well. What we give them, they have to take it to the next level and continue. So it's for today and next generation. And Stefan's presentation was how proud he was to say that his family is still doing the business for centuries. So go and find where your families are. Do you have any connections to Julfans? If not, how did they connect with Europe and Asia. Maybe you have some role in there. So find that connection for your families. If not, let's build those today. And we have that power. One more time, I'm going to say, why are we doing this? Because we can. We have it. All we have to do is activate, revive. And the history showed, I didn't know many things that Ani, when the first time she presented, it was amazing. I said, we did all of this. We had all of this. We were so trusted. We were so respected in the governments, in all industries. We were there, and we have it even today. It's just individualized. That's what we want to bring together. We are strong. We have strong presence in other countries. Souren, when we went to Jerusalem, we were amazed of the quality and everything we saw. We had no idea. So that's what we want to fix. We need to know, being in any part of the world, to know what are we doing as Armenians as continuation and what we are doing as today and for future and in all industries. So please take a look at the shop view. If anything is missing as members, as collaborating partners, let us know. What corners are we missing there? We have all these different types for art, music, innovation in technology, in food industry. So we have all these different corners. We can add as many as we want. We just make sure that we bring our current power together. We have it. We just need to know about it, and we need to connect them. I'm going to have one more person to say something. Go ahead. One more comment? Yerevan from London, I'm going to call you out because UK was a very important location for that. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi.
Hi. So please speak up because we are in innovation every day. I want to add this component to everything that we do from now on. Go ahead, Yerevan.
Yeah, I will be brief. So that's important to really know what our ancestors did and how powerful that network was. And thank you, Emma, and for everyone who participated to bring this to light. There is much more to uncover. This is just small part of what our nation has created, and it's in all parts of the world. So thank you everyone who participated, and good luck with the initiative. Good luck to all of us, and we need to work together to build something very strong for Armenia and Armenian nation.
Thank you, Yerevan. And again, thank you everyone who believed in this journey. And Yerevan, the technology innovation corner, we have only one company. So now we're going to start adding more because we have it. So think about that. Which ones to add to that corner? That's and Stefan, you too, fintech companies, the ones that belong there. Again, the criteria is global. If it's not global, we're going to say go, grow, become global, then come back. Because we want to force every single Armenian to think global. Because that's what our people did 400 years ago when there was only camels and sheep. I mean, come on, we can do better today. So why you're not global, I'm questioning. This is a continuation of our BAJ Accelerate. If you're not global, I cannot help you because the technology and everything allows you to think global and do things global. Even from a small village under the Tsiranitsar, under the apricot tree. Do that. Thank you, Yerevan. Thank you for supporting this idea. And supporting this. Now I have a major announcement to make. As always, I love surprises and not so much surprises because it's on our website if you had a chance to look at the location. So, two things. I'm going to ask you to promote the membership. Ask people to join. Action one, as a community member, if they don't have business to promote, and or as a business, if you have something. So, and if you're not global, there are many ways of actually start even looking others who are global and start building a relationship. How did you go global? So connect with all of these companies that we already have on the website. Second thing is the technology to use. So we're going to start with just joining as with your regular websites, but then we're going to start probably within a couple of months coming after you and say, why you are not on this Meta? Because we want our businesses to be the forefront. So innovation plus is our mission. And Meta is the next generation of regular websites. So we don't have to follow, we can actually lead that as our ancestors did. The second one is the Dutch symbol. If you can think about giving a present to yourself or to somebody's birthday party or anything, start thinking about giving people something that creates a thought, not just a gift, but a movement into their everyday thinking process. So the Dutch, the one that I'm wearing proudly, and what is Karen? Karen is always surprising me everywhere he goes. Karen Tonoyan, he's wearing that everywhere. In any part of the world I see him, he's wearing the pin. So you can do the same because you are creating a conversation about it. It's not just a pin. It's what is this? And you start talking about it, educating every single person around you, starting from Armenian, finishing with non-Armenian. So it's a conversation starter, in other words. Okay, and finally, I'm thrilled to announce the next year's Digital Julfa. Plan your trips and pack your bags. It's going to be at St. Lazarus Island in Venice, Italy. So Raquel, you are the first one to speak there in the opening statement.
Yes.
Thank you. We're going to decide which month. We usually target June for different reasons, but it could be in that time frame. So it's going to be in Italy, St. Lazarus, because it was one of the major educational, historic, still powerful. We have it. It's there. Have you been there? If you haven't been there, then we don't appreciate what they built. They bought an island 400 years ago. Can you imagine how visionary these people were? Sometimes I'm actually thinking, am I smart enough? How did they think about it? In Italy, it's still there. Mkhitaryan, they still have people who graduated there. And we are also planning to even do baptizing there. Souren, a hint for you. And we are planning to do multiple events there. It's next year. It's also on our journey on our website, you could see, and we have 7 other locations following. The rest you check, where are we also planning to be in the next 7 years? And then that list is going to go more. As we said, 40 countries. Today is more than 40. At that time, it was more than that because some consolidation has happened. So I was corrected by a historian, said, don't say 40 countries, say 40 modern countries, which was much more than at that time. So we're going to go with the trips to all 40. We may accelerate our journeys, but right now you have 7. Next year is Italy, St. Lazarus. Put it on your vacation plans, on your baby baptized plans, put it on your wedding plans, whatever the plan is, or just be there. We're going to celebrate there with a much bigger audience. And Nico, you prepare. Hopefully we will have by that time 1 or 2 companies that are on full Meta at that by that event. With this,
With the pleasure, Emma-chan, with the pleasure.
yes, be prepared. Okay, I'll give you back, or we'll give you back 1 minute to your schedule. Enjoy. It's a pleasure to have you all. Thank you for joining. We're going to use all these presentations and share with the world. Thank you. Digital Julfa is on.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you, Emma. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Emma.
Congratulations. Bye bye.
Yes. Julfa is back. I'm going to stop recording.
Beautiful, very confident. I heard some pieces of it before from others, but not in this.